I am Jamia Anitra Davis, and the purpose of making this video, which I may make many more, is something so I can go back and look at to see sometimes how far I've grown, where good, and also being able to speak, share, but also in reality kind of minister to myself, but also to see again where I am. So this page right now is gonna be private. I don't know, I may in the near future, I may make it public, I may not make it public, but this whole channel I'm going to use as Jamia's healing journey is what I'm going to call it. The first video I'm gonna make is something kind of that recently happened, but I also use it as a life lesson and use it to teach me and to learn from it that not to lead with my emotions so much, because yes, you have emotions, yes, you feel emotions, and you know, it's good to have emotions, but it's also not good to have or to lead with your emotions or your feelings of how things are. Great to talk about it, but if you really, what I'm saying, like, if lead with your emotions, or when I lead with my emotions, I feel like they cause a lot of destruction. It really does. It's great to be, when it says be sober minded, and with that being said, sometimes when you're very emotional and you are feeling like you're all over the place, you are likely not sober minded when you make decisions, and some of those decisions can harm you in the long run or harm relationships that you had. It can harm those in the long run as well. So what I want to tell myself and what I'm working on is, and I will say, you know, I am somewhat happy, or I'm proud of myself to a point for not handling the way I would usually have. I did have, you know, a little bit of tendencies, handled the situation the same way, or like not the same way, but a little bit of old Jamia, but we're working on the new and improved Jamia, and working on healing and working on learning that yes, I had past experience that taught me to think differently about situations, and kind of taught me that everything is going to end up terrible in the long run, or that people will leave in the long run. So I had a lot of that, like growing up, a lot of you know, thinking, oh, okay, you know, this person's for me, this person will be there, you know, we'll be great friends forever. I was one who felt very easily for all types of things, and you know, like I wouldn't read the signs, or like I'll see the signs but I will like ignore the signs and be like, whatever, you know, like it's not gonna happen, and then it happened, and then I would be upset, or a lot of things, you know, would happen. I would like, oh, you know, but I have to remember that my past experience is not my present experience, because there are people who genuinely are there, genuinely won't leave, I think I learned is, definitely talk it out, because I used to be a person who wouldn't say anything, or wouldn't say how I feel, and I would just feel away and just be like, move on about it, nothing happened, like that. I do now, like I'll say a little bit or something, but I also don't want it to be like my words get misconstrued. Like I don't want to, and that's also my problem. I overthink way too freaking much, and I'm so sick of overthinking all the time. But I'm like, I also remember, I'm like, your brain processes things a little bit different than others' brains process, a little bit on the autistic side, but it's okay. Because it doesn't make me dumb. I just do things a little bit differently, or I think things a little bit differently, and things hit me a little bit differently than it usually would. And sometimes I'll get stuck and last a little bit longer in a situation that really had no problem, and my brain does a thing where it just like overthings, and I'm like, I look at the underlining issues, or I look at the details, or I'm very observant, so I'll see things, I'll hear things, and it's like, okay, well this, but then that, and I'm like, I remember certain things, or I remember words and like conversations, so I remember things sometimes that I don't want to remember. But then I also got to tell myself, the enemy comes up with ways to make it seem, make a situation seem what it's not, and be like, others had no knowledge of it being of there being anything wrong, or knowing that they did anything wrong. And it's probably also great to talk to them and be like, hey, like this, that, and third, and the other. But there is also a way to talk and communicate, not being standoffish, just one of them. I really got to work on that. And I learned that I am also a person that if something happens, I do not like confrontation, so I will shut down and I won't say anything at all, because I do feel like when I do say something, it's like I always keep thinking like, oh my gosh, did that come across clearly? Did that or did it come across as, like I don't see their side, or did it come across as like, oh my gosh, like it's just her like selfish, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be selfish, but it's like, it just comes out the way, and I'm like, and then I think about that like conversation, I'm like, I know, like I apologize and but like, are they sick of me like apologizing so much? Like maybe I just apologized too much, maybe I just did this and I did that, and it's just like my mind is just like rambling, and it's like, okay, what about this? Like, I hope they seen it this way, like the way that I was saying it. And I was like, sometimes, I don't know, maybe I feel like I overtalked them. Like maybe they were talking and I'm like, well, actually, like, what you're saying, yeah, I heard you, but bump that, like, like, I'm like overthinking that in my head the entire time. I'm like, I really hope, then the point gets across is like, like, yeah, you hear my side and I hear your side, and it's not, and I'm not like making it like, oh, whoa, Ishmael, oh, well, she's very selfish, like it's all about her, like she don't give a damn about nobody else. And I'm like, all I promise I do, like that's like me so much, is that I care, like I care so much about how others perceive me, because I cannot stand, I do not like, and I absolutely like hate when it's like, oh, someone felt like betrayed, or they felt hurt by me, or they felt like I wasn't a good friend, or they felt like, I don't listen to them. Like I absolutely absolutely hate that. Like, I don't want anyone to dislike me. I don't want anybody to be mad at me. I'm like, if you're mad at me, please let me know. Like, if you're sick of me, like I'm doing too much, please, like, let me know. Because I'm like, I don't want to hurt anyone, and I don't want like my actions just feel like I'm over empowering or like hypocritical, or like I just don't, I'm like, I try to think about my actions, and then sometimes I will say like my actions, I'm like, dang, I'm just a selfish hoe, like not even. And I'm just like, I don't want to be selfish, and I'm like, I'm very considerate, but then it's like I don't consider all of the facts or consider everything. And so I just am like, I'm a work on me, work on not making a bigger issue or deal than what it is. And I think one thing also, the situation was as well, which honestly, maybe it wasn't even the situation. Maybe it was just like, you know, the enemy kind of used that to get me to fall off course again. Or because I finally, like in the year 2026, when I say I never seen my real smile, I didn't even know that I had a real smile, didn't even know that if I would ever genuinely be happy again, or genuinely even know what joy or love really was. And so year 2026 in January, I don't know I want to say it was January the 2nd week. It was either like between Friday and Saturday, the second week. Something happened. But like after like an entire encounter with Jesus, I will say, okay, kind of what happened, you know, we had prayer, blah 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 blah, got prayed over by the bishop, and he prayed. He also prayed about peace. Mind you, I didn't tell him my story. Like, he don't really know anything about, like, he knows about me, he knows my name, right? But like, he doesn't know the in-depth details of my past, all the things that I've encountered, all of the things that I did. He doesn't know that, or went through. He doesn't know that. And so like for him to, right, he's like, you'll have like real peace, and other things as well. It was like, dang, I was like, okay, cool. Now here's the good part about it, and this is very, it's like crazy, but it's not. So I was leaving to head to Charleston because that's the same weekend that we were going to my grandma's house. So I had to go to Charleston because we were driving from there up to North Carolina. So decided, so I got actually like at the front of the neighborhood, and I had left my Chick-fil-A sandwich. I had went to Chick-fil-A. I got me a grilled chicken sandwich, because at the time we were on the, like, you know, good clean eating. I did good clean eating for like 2.5 weeks, and probably didn't even make it halfway, just like 2 weeks. But that's besides the point. I tried. I really did. But honestly, I'm proud for eating, because I went through a period of just not eating. I still eat a little, but I eat now. I eat a lot, okay? Besides the point. But I had left a Chick-fil-A sandwich on my nightstand, and I was like, you know what? I got to the neighborhood. I had already packed up all my stuff, blah, 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 blah. Like, in the car, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just leave it to prayer service. And I decided, you know, I was already running late. I said, you know what? I'm gonna just go to the prayer service, and then I'm gonna come back, get the sandwich, head out, and leave. And so when I did that, I saw so yeah, and the prayer happened, all that good stuff. God's amazing. God's so good. So I came back home so that I can get the sandwich. Mind you, I'm only like 5 minutes from the church, so it wasn't that far of a drive. So I came back home to the apartment, and I came into my room. I came to get the sandwich. I took forever. Like, I ended up spending like an hour in here. I don't even know what happened or what I started to do. Oh, I wrote a song, and I was like, oh, like, started singing the song, blah blah blah. And so I started singing the song, and I was like, no, like, I need to feel it, because I was like, I had wanted to perform it at Back to Black, and that ain't happening. So anyway, but I thought it was, like, maybe audition, like, things like that, because auditions, I think, were the following week. So I was like, let me practice a song. Actually, you know what? I think it was, no, yeah, it was the following week. Anyway, so I was like, let me go over the song. But I was like, you know what? When I sing the song, I need to ignore that there's an audience, because I know that I get nervous. In the original key that I put it in, I just start singing it lower because I'm too nervous or too scared to sing, so it doesn't come out the way. And I was like, you know what? This song is singing to the little girl who didn't think that she would find joy, didn't think that she would really make it or even make it out, but to the little girl to know that she has come a far way. So it was me speaking to little me. So I was like, you know what, let me look at one of the younger pictures of me. The book I grabbed was the 6th grade me. And the 6th grade me was the one then encountering some things, and 6th grade me was the one who started the first cut, which after that day it led to many years of doing it. I think today, I want to say I'm 2 months free, or yeah, 2 months free right now, and we're going to try to keep it that way, because one thing about it, I will not lose my joy again. It's been too long. Didn't think I was gonna get it back, and I got it back, right? So anyway, I grabbed the 6th grade picture of me. Looking at it, baby, I was rough. Oh my gosh, when I say rough, oh baby, she was rough, okay? And so I looked at the 6th grade version of me, and all the memories of all the things that happened in 6th grade that carried out into even college. I'm in college now, so like, mind you. So from 6th grade all the way to like even up to last year, pretty much. And so I looked at her, and I finally was able to look at her, apologize to her for all the things, apologize for hating her, apologize for disliking her and treating her like it was absolute garbage, absolutely trash. Apologize to her for believing the lies or the things that people said about her. Apologize for the low self-esteem or the unbelief that I had in her. So I was able to like sit down and really just look at her, cry to her, and let her know like, hey girl, you came a long way. Things that you thought, you would, there were times when you thought that you wouldn't make it out. There were times when you were so sad, so down, like crazy things happen. But to see where you are today, that you made it out and you're doing decisions that are best for you, and you are genuinely happy. Like literally genuinely happy. When I say so like then I like had my real joy. I found my real authentic smile. Like if you look at all of my pictures from like when I was younger and like things like that, every one of them fake smile. And I thought that I was smiling for real. Like that was the only smile that I had that was like my smile. So I was just like, you know, like this is just the smile I have. Like everybody would say, you and that fake smile, like you just be fake smiling, like girl. And I'm like, well, in my head I'm like, well, that's my smile. I mean, like it just looks fake. I just have a fake smile. But to actually see my real smile for the first time, like it was emotional. I was like, dang, like I actually have joy again, which I think is why the enemy used this experience that I had recently as a way to get me to be sad and depressed again. And one thing I will say, I did cry for days. Cried and cried because I thought it was something that it really wasn't. So like I cried for days and days, but one thing I kept telling myself is that I will not lose my joy. I will still have joy. Though I may be crying and it looks like I am not smiling, I still have joy. So I was like, you know, I keep telling myself that because I also said the year 2026 would be my full healing season, my full healing journey, my full transformation. And that will be the case. That is the case. I will be healed. So it's like there are certain experiences that I will have to encounter, that I will have to go through and will have to deal with. Because if I claim that this year, decree and declare and claim that 2026 is my full healing season, that means that I have to, like, I'm going to have to go through some of the situations or experiences that I went through when I was younger that absolutely broke me, so that I can grow and be healed from them. And yes, I may go through them. I may absolutely cry, may fall out on the ground, may throw a tantrum, but I'ma still keep praising the name of the Lord, and I'ma still have my joy. I'm still gonna have peace, even if it seems like it's very chaotic. Staying organized for the most part, trying to stay organized, stay consistent when organizing, stay consistent with being clean. I got a little bit of work to do. It's not as messy. I was looking at my room, you know, y'all. It's not as messy as it was. It used to be terribly worse. So like it's different now. But I have a set schedule for like when I clean, when I do laundry, because sometimes I used to pile up for like 3 months. We don't tell nobody that. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, so like I just have to learn to not lead with my emotions so much, because that literally what can make or break and kill a situation, even a friendship. It can kill a lot of things, because a lot of times if we're too emotionally invested or too emotionally led, it causes a lot more destruction, a lot more harm than it does good. Yes, it's great, you know, as it was said to me once, have your moment, but don't stay in that moment. So have your moment, deal with it first. You know what? I did not go by the Bible. I really didn't. I see kind of now. I did not go by the Bible. Okay. You know, it's a reminder. It does say if you have a problem with like someone, talk to them first, and then after you talk to them, you know, ways don't change, then you can bring in like another person, like be a witness, like, hey, you know, this is going on, then, you know, go and tell. Kind of dashboard. But I'm glad that I get to talk about it. I'm glad they don't hate me. They probably do be like, okay, this girl is like bipolar, crazy. I promise y'all I'm not crazy. I really am not crazy. There were said that I may be bipolar, but hopefully not, you know. I don't claim that, but maybe no. No, but definitely working on my own issues and not being emotionally led, being spirit led by the Lord spirit, not any other one, but being spiritually led by God is the best decision to make, and not being so emotionally led, because I don't want to cause any more problems. That, like, y'all, I hate problems. I really do. And I like feel like maybe others hate problems too, but I really hate problems. And I'm gonna stop talking because this video is like very long, but I just wanted to air out all my thoughts and all of my feelings. Again, this is probably private, but thank you for listening to Jamia's healing journey. Bye.